We're installing the real name fix for Football Manager 2024. This guide is for the full version of the game and can be applied on a number of systems, so Windows, Mac, through Steam, Epic, GamePass and even Steam Deck, all in this guide. If you find it easy to follow and need help installing other essentials, check out our How to Install Essentials playlist for more videos. Now, once we are ready to install, there are two key locations that we'll need, which are very different depending on the system that you are playing on. We'll cover the exact locations later in the guide, but they're all in the description down below as well, so you need them in the description. That we're also going to need the editor data folder and the games database folder. They're the two folders we are going to need. We'll go through where they are exactly in a few steps when we get to them later in the video. Now, the real name fix is needed because by default there are a number of clubs who do not have their real name due to licensing issues, so that's such as Manchester United or Napoli, etc. There are a number of other competitions in the game that are also included but don't have the full license, like the Premier League. So this file will correct those competition names as well. By default, the national teams of Germany and Japan, for example, are also unlicensed. So these two nations are unable to call up real players throughout the game. They can only call up regens or fake players. This fix will correct that as well. There's staff members of a club like Ajax, for example. They get added in. The Brazilian club names and colours all get corrected as well. Lots of other changes. Basically, the real name fix does all of these things and more to really enhance your experience of playing Football Manager. There is an incredible written install guide on the download page as well, which includes screenshots, but this video will go through the same process. So if you're struggling to follow along with me, check out the written guide, or if you're struggling with the written guide, hello, welcome to the video guide. The download itself is really simple. You just hit the download button and you get a downloaded zip file onto your PC. You can download with a free membership on the Sort It Out SI website. You do not need to become a premium member to get access to this or any other download on the Sort It Out SI website. Now, the download should be nice and quick, and you'll be greeted with a zip file that will need extracting, and you can use whatever software you have to do this. I use 7-zip, but others are available. Now, the extracted files need to go in two different locations, but these locations are different depending on the system that you are playing on and the client you used to install the game. The written guide has all of these locations specified, and as I mentioned, they're going to be in the description of this video as well, so go down there and check them out. I am a Windows user who has installed through Steam, which I imagine a lot of you who are watching will have done as well, so you'll be following exactly how I do things. So I'll show you what that looks like on my system, but if you copy and paste the different locations for example, PC players on GamePass, PC players on Epic, Steam Deck players, Xbox players on GamePass, your folders should all look the same. Similarly, for Mac, the location is also shown. You'll need to go to the Finder, then go to Finder and paste in the correct location. All of those details are down in the description, so once you've got to that point, it should look very similar, if not exactly the same as what I'm going to show you once you are in the correct folder. Now, you'll notice that once you are in this folder, it is named 2400, so that is basically FM24 version 0 of the database. Everything you do in this folder will need to be done in all the other folders in the DB folder one level up. Remember that. So once the game gets updated and there's a new database, you'll have to do it again. If you are playing a continued FM23 save on FM24, you'll have to go into the 2330 or 40 or 00, whichever folders are there, and do the same thing. So it might take a few minutes to do the same thing over and over again in all of these folders, but it needs to happen so the name fix is going to be applied properly to every version of the database that you are playing in. So you need to complete these steps in every one of these folders, as we mentioned, and then when the game gets updated, remember to reapply the real name fix to the new folders as well. So what you need to do in this folder, you found the right folder, hopefully the 2400 folder or 2410, whatever version of the game you're on, this folder you'll need to be in, and you do it for all of the other ones. I've got to stress that point again. You simply need to only delete the DBC, the EDT, and the LNC folders. Those three folders, you just delete them. And then you replace them with the same folders that you've just downloaded and extracted. So it's those three folders once again. You move them over into this new location. You got to make sure you delete the folders and don't just paste the new ones in, because it will overwrite some, but some of the files in there need to be deleted for the real name fix to work properly. And if you just copy and paste the new files in, some things won't work and you'll be wondering why. And that's why you need to make sure you delete the folders in their original format and then put in the new ones. You do this once again in each and every folder within that DB folder, the database folders, and you should be good to go. Now, once you've pasted those downloaded folders into the required locations, we need to move to a completely different file location, and this is the same one. This is the user data folder. This is the same one that you do with all your graphics and your save games and your tactics and your skins. This is the folder we need to go to there. So this is by Windows, it's in your documents. On Mac, again, we'll have the location in the description. But this is where you go for all of those graphics and editor data files, which is what the last ones are. So this folder lives within my documents on Windows. As we've said, all of the other locations are in the description below for the different systems. You need to open the editor data folder, and if you haven't got an editor data folder, simply just create editor data like it is on screen right now, and then you copy the 9 or so files that you've downloaded that are in the editor data files folder and paste them in here. Simple as that. If you can't find this folder path, you can double check in game that it hasn't been changed from the default. So I'll show you now. If you head into game and go to the preferences menu, you click on advanced options and then scroll down to general and a setting called location. The file path that's shown here is the user data folder, and this is the one you need to go into. If you don't have the game, basically if you don't have that folder, you need to boot the game up and it will be there. By going in game to check the location, you'll have booted the game up and it will have created it. So you just create the editor data folder within here and put in those 9 or so files to do the real name fix. Now, when you have started a new save, you need to check the database options in the top right when going through the advanced options rather than the quick start. And here is where you select the base database and any editor data files that you may have installed. So those 9 files you've moved across, they will be here. By default, when you install the file in that folder, the game automatically selects the file and assumes you want it for your next save game. If you don't, you untick it, but you do in this case, and in any future game, you want these 9 files ticked as well. So you just need to double check that all of the files have been enabled before going forward with the rest of your game setup, and from there, you just set the game up however you want and however you normally do. Now, this should have installed successfully now, and you'll have all of the real name fixes applied to your game. Some of these fixes need a new save game to be fully applied. Others apply to any game, and some require a workaround which will allow them to be applied to existing save games as well. There's more details on exactly which part of the fix falls into which categories in the written guide. But if you do need the workaround, you need to, for the save games, for some things to work, you need to head back into that first set of folders, the database folders, and open up the city, club and stadiums names .lnc file in either Notepad or any other text editing software. From here, basically, this file changes the club names that are applied in the editor data files, so they're duplicated here with a hashtag in front of them to stop them being applied by default because you'll have selected the editor data files. But if you've already got the save game and you want to go in and do it, this is the workaround basically. So you do a find and replace for hashtag speech mark club, all in capitals, and replace it with just speech mark club, essentially removing the hashtag so that the changes will be made in existing save games. If you're not following along, go to the written guide. It's very well explained out there in the first comment of the thread. But basically this method applies the name changes to a save game, but it does remove club nicknames so from the affected teams, so you've got to balance it out that way. The editor data files are better, but if you've already started your game, this is a great workaround to get those changes made. And it's the workaround that happens during the early access and beta phases as well. So if you installed it during the beta phase, this is what will happen. So basically there's an extensive FAQ posted by Mons over in the thread beneath the download. That download obviously will be linked in the description. The thread will be there as well. The written instructions will be there as well if you are struggling along to follow. If you are having issues, I'd recommend reading through those FAQs because the vast majority of issues are going to be covered in there because this real name fix has been going on for years. So anything that could go wrong has been covered in those FAQs. If you're still finding issues, obviously let us know in the comments and we'll try and help you out. There are also instructions on how to subscribe to the download thread so that every time the file gets updated, you'll get a ping on the Sort It Out SI website and you can re-download again and reapply. Obviously, once you've subscribed to that download thread, subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. We've got great content on offer over here, and we would love to see you on more videos. Now, hopefully, you've now successfully installed all of the real name fixes for FM24. Let us know in the comments if you've been successful or found anything difficult. And as always, we'll have more install guides for all of the other essentials for Football Manager 2024. All of your graphics, they'll all be on your playlist. They'll be on screen very, very shortly. There'll also be a playlist for our league guides as well, which we started in FM23. We're continuing on FM24. We're attempting to cover every single playable league in the game. These provide a great overview of all the playable leagues in each nation and give you 5 or so save ideas for each nation as well. Some of them will be applicable for FM23 and not for FM24, but the general idea is there. Check out that playlist for all the league guides. We're going to keep adding to that as the year goes on. If you're unsure who to manage, great ideas within each video. Enjoy playing FM24 with everything using its real name, and I'll see you on the next video.